Carnation Evaporated Milk presents the George Burns and Gracie Allen Show.
Oh, come on in, Blanche.
All excited about going to Palm Springs, huh?
Well, yes, but of course you know it isn't vacation.
Oh?
No, we're going to be on Jack Benny's next television show, so we're going to stay at his house for a few days and rehearse.
Mm.
Look, do you like it, Blanche?
Oh, that's cute. And just right for the desert.
Yes, and one nice thing, there won't be another one like it. Saks only ordered 200, and that's the last one they had.
Oh, pretty fancy for George.
Mm-hmm. And you know, the woman who waited on me was pretty inquisitive. I said that I wanted some shorts for my husband to wear in the pool, and she said, what size? Now, I ask you, what business is it of hers how big the pool is?
No, honey, she meant George's shorts.
Oh. Well, that's none of her business either.
I guess not.
Say, Blanche, why don't you go with us? You know, Mary and Jack Benny would love to have you. They've got plenty of room.
Oh, I'd like to, honey, but I don't know the Bennies.
Oh, you'd love them. They're very informal.
Gee, I wish I could go and wear a dress like this.
Well, Blanche, I don't think you could wear it that way. I think you'd have to get in it. You know, the nights down there are very chilly.
Yeah. Well, in any case, I can't go. I have to stay home and prepare Harry's meals. All he ever wants to do is eat.
Well, look, why don't you leave him in a restaurant for 4 days while we're gone?
No, honey, it's no use. You know something?
What?
I've been to Palm Springs twice. And both times, the only reason Harry let me go was because I was half dead from a cold.
Oh, that's a shit. Hey, that's an idea. Let's pretend you have a cold. Let me hear you cough. Oh, no, Blanche, you have to do better than that. That wouldn't even get you as far as Pomona. Oh, well, now there's a Palm Springs cough if I ever heard one. Oh, look, that might be your husband now. Quick, go in the guest room and put on my robe. You'll find it in the closet.
Okay.
Come in.
You know, Grace? Oh, there you are. Hi, Gracie.
Oh, well, hello, Harry. Oh, no, Blanche. No, it's Harry Bonzel.
Well, what's going on?
Well, Blanche has a terrible cold, and I don't want her to waste her coughs until her husband gets here.
Well, that's too bad. Oh, Gracie, this is my agent, Lou Cooper. He wanted to talk to George about my contract.
Oh, well.
Hello, Mrs. Burns.
Well, I'm sorry, but George isn't here. Would you like to talk to me?
Why, sure. I want to talk about...
No, Lou,
Harry, you're paying me 10% of your salary. Will you let me earn it?
Well, you'll earn it. Here, go ahead. Yeah.
Now, Mrs. Burns, I'd like to discuss the terms of the contract between Harry and your husband. By the way, are you familiar with them?
Well, I am with my husband. Naturally, I'm more formal with Harry.
No, Mrs. Burns. You see, Excuse me for a moment, Harry. Maybe you should handle this, huh?
You're getting the 10%.
I'll take 5.
No, Gracie, listen, maybe we better come back when George is here.
Oh, all right. But we're leaving for Palm Springs at 5 o'clock.
Oh, you are? Well, we'll try and get back before that.
All right,
Thanks.
bye.
Come on, Gracie. Let's phone Harry and tell him I'm sick.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Oh, that was a good idea, Blanche.
That's right.
Hello? Harry? This is Gracie. Will you come over to Blanche? Just caught a terrible cold. Well, I don't know. Maybe it was something she ate. Is it bad? Well, listen to this. Blanche, that's Pomona. Well, did you hear that? Huh? Oh. Well, listen to this. You heard it, huh? Are you coming right over? Oh, good. Well, way over, will you stop at the drugstore and get some aspirin and cough medicine and a large bottle of suntan oil? All right, bye. Come on, oh!
You know, if we have to take Blanche Morton with us to Palm Springs, we're going to have a little problem. Jack Benny invited Gracie and me to spend the weekend at his house, and I hate to barge in with an extra guest. I mean, I don't mind paying for 2, but 3 runs into money. And Blanche, not being in show business, won't even get the professional rate. And she won't have any fun. All Gracie and I are going to do is sit around the pool and rehearse Jack Benny's television show. By the way, he's got a beautiful pool, but you can't use it on Mondays. That's the day he does his rinsing, and the water is full of bluing. I must tell you this. Jack doesn't swim very well, and the last time I was there, he nearly drowned. He was going down for the second time, and I grabbed him by the hair. And then as he was going down for the third time, I grabbed Jack. But, you know, Gracie and I enjoy staying at Jack's house. It's a lot like the Racket Club, which is one of the smartest places there. You know, if you steal a towel at the Racket Club, they sue you. And if you steal a towel at Jack Benny's, the Racket Club still sues you. But a lot of smart people stay at Jack's. When we were there the last time, there was Barbara Stanwyck, Errol Flynn, Claudette Colbert, Mervyn LeRoy, the director, and there was a little starlet that nobody knew. I guess she sort of sneaked in. She was sitting at the pool, and she wore one of these French suits, these little bathing suits. And I guess she wanted to be seen in the best places. And incidentally, she fell into the pool in the deep end, and she couldn't swim and had quite a struggle, and then Errol Flynn pulled her out. That's when the struggle started. But getting back to Jack Benny, we've been friends for years, and I love him, and I love to go out with him. There's never that embarrassing fight over who pays the check. Jack never has any money with him. And it's not because he's tight. He has a philosophy about money. He says you can't take it with you, so why get in the habit of carrying it? But Blanche will not have fun at Jack Benny's house.
I just heard Harry's car drive in. Now you get down there and make yourself nice and comfortable.
Oh, they're setting the stage for Harry Morton's entrance. And if I know my script, here comes Harry now.
Gracie! Gracie!
Oh, Harry, I'm so glad you got here. Blanche has been asking for you.
Well, where is she? I've got to see her.
Well, I'll take you to her right away.
This has all happened so suddenly.
Yes, oh, she's got a terrible cold. Poor Blanche. Gesundheit!
What was that?
Blanche just sneezed. Oh, you see how weak she is? It takes a while for the sound to travel.
Gracie, I want to see her.
Well, Harry, you put this ice back in the refrigerator and follow me. Harry, come on. Here he is, Blanche.
Blanche, I'm glad to see you. I thought for a minute I might lose you.
Me or the drumstick?
Now, Blanche, honey.
George and Gracie have been kind enough to offer to take me to Palm Springs to regain my health.
Well, who'll cook for me?
Think of me for once. The heat will be good for my cold.
I am thinking of you. It's nice and warm next to the stove.
All you ever think about is eating.
Well, how about it, Harry? Can she go to Palm Springs?
I don't think she has a cold. No fever. You got a thermometer?
A thermometer? Yes, I'll go.
Harry, please let me go.
No.
George and Gracie always stay at Jack Benny's, and always they have celebrities there, and it'd make me so happy.
Oh, Blanche, are you going to have a fever?
Huh?
Harry, come here quick.
What's
Well, I'm not sure, but I think Blanche has a fever. She better go to Palm Springs, huh?
Well, we'll take a look. Personally, I don't believe she has any... Good heavens! 127!
I'll go pack your bathing suit.
Now, wait a minute, Gracie. No one could live with that temperature. According to this, you're dead.
Send my body to Palm Springs.
Home, Blanche.
All right, I'll go.
Well, what about her cold?
Oh, she has no more cold than you have.
Oh, he's so mean and selfish.
Aren't you glad you're not going to Palm Springs with us?
Why?
How would you like to come home to a man as mean as that?
Well, that takes care of Blanche Morton. Now, when we get to Palm Springs, Gracie and I will be able to concentrate on Jack Benny's television show. Oh, incidentally, a few weeks ago, I was on Jack Benny's radio show, and he asked me to sing that song he wrote. We're friends. What could I do? That was some song. If you say I beg your pardon, then I'll come back to you. If you ask me to forgive you, I'll return, oh, brother. You know, when I got through singing that song, I could hardly stand up. I had Phil Harris and his orchestra right behind me. And when those guys blow on you for 3 minutes, you're really loaded. Now I know why Jack gets those big laughs. The orchestra plays the theme song, and when they get through, the people sitting in the first 5 rows are ready to sing Sweet Adeline. When I came home, here's what... Oh, excuse me. Come in.
Oh, Mr. Burns?
Yes?
I'm Dr. Johnson. I brought Suzette Benny to ride down to Palm Springs with you.
Oh? Yes, Suzette Benny?
That's right. We've
Very
been treating
cute.
at our hospital. Now, here's Suzette's clinical record. You tell Mrs. Benny the trouble is largely psychosomatic. She's developed a definite mental block.
Suzette has a mental block? Well, that's interesting, but that sounds like my wife's department.
Oh.
Excuse me. Gracie, Dr. Johnson is here with Mary Benny's dog.
Oh, Mr. Burns, please. We never use the word D-O-G in front of them.
Well, what do they think they are, COWs?
Well, here's Suzette's overnight bag. And this is a special diet.
I see.
Judge, did you want to see me?
Oh, yeah, this is Dr. Johnson, and this is Suzette. We're taking her to Palm Springs with us.
Yeah, hello.
And,
how do you do?
how do you do, Mrs. If you'll excuse me, I'll take the DOG into the den.
Well, George, you don't have to spell it. The doctor knows it's a dog. Well, doctor, won't you sit down?
Oh, thank you.
You know, Mrs. Benny told me what a wonderful doctor you are, and so I've been telling all my friends about you.
Well, now, that's very kind of you, Mrs. Burns.
Yeah. Oh, I wish I'd known you when I was a little girl. You know, I had a dog named Max, and he had terrible problems.
Really? What was his trouble?
Well, I guess he was embarrassed because his parents were so distantly related. You see, his mother was a St. Bernard, and his father was a Mexican hairless.
Really? Didn't this give him a split personality?
Well, yes, it did.
I see.
Now, you see, he had very short front legs and very, very long hind legs.
Hind legs.
But, of course, he never got tired.
Oh, really?
No, you see, he always thought he was going downhill.
Well, Mrs. Burns, before I go, Suzette has been inoculated for distemper. I'll tell Mrs. Benny not to worry if she develops a fever. But if she wants a really happy dog, change her diet to Frisky.
Oh, is distemper dangerous, Doctor?
Oh, yes, extremely so. In fact, I know...
I'm sorry, Gracie. Where's Blanche?
Oh, it's all right, Harry. This is Mrs. Morton's husband.
Oh.
I'll be right with you.
Well, as I was saying, Mrs. Burns, it can be very dangerous and lead to complications. But that warm desert air is exactly what she needs. Now, here's a prescription for her in case she does develop a fever.
All right. Thank you, Doctor. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mrs. Burns. That's the doctor?
Yes. Oh, he's wonderful. Miss Benny said so.
You mean Blanche is... I've been making a terrible mistake. Look, Gracie, is there still time for you to take her to Palm Springs?
Well, of course, Harry, but what...
Well, you go tell her. You tell her that she's going with you, and I'll go pack some things for her.
Oh, no, Harry, you tell her. You see, I've got to get this prescription filled, and then I've got to get the Friskies the doctor ordered.
I thought Friskies were only for... Oh, she must look awful.
How do you like that? Harry Morton jumped to a conclusion, and now he's knee-deep in it. Well, anyway, Blanche and Gracie are all packed, ready to go. The luggage is in the car. The dog is in the car. Oh, Blanche and Gracie are in the car. I better get my grip and... Oh, I must tell you this. Guess what Gracie is taking with her? 12 dark blue water tumblers. Blanche told her that the sun in Palm Springs is very bright, and she better take along some dark glasses. Well, I better get my grip. Come in.
Oh, George.
Hello, Harry. How are
George,
you?
you know my agent, Lou Cooper.
Well, sure. Good to see you again, Mr. Burns.
Hello, Lou. Glad to see you.
George, I know you're going to Palm Springs, but there's something we want to ask you.
Harry, will you let me handle this? Mr. Burns, I know you're going to Palm Springs, but there's something we want to ask you.
Well, look, Gracie and Blanche Morton are in the car, so make it fast.
Okay, now Universal Studios is making a picture, and George, I've got a chance to get a great part in there.
Harry,
And
will you let me do the talking? Universal Studios is making a picture, and he's got a chance to get a great part.
see, Mr. Getz, who is the big man at Universal, is going to see our next television show. And you know, George, if all he sees me do is a commercial, I won't have a chance.
Harry. Harry. Bill Getz is going to watch the next television show, and if all he sees Harry do is a commercial, he hasn't got a chance. Now, Mr. Burns, you've got...
What are you, the repeat show for the West Coast? Look, the girl... Oh, just a minute. Come in, fellas. We'll talk about this in 5 days.
Oh, no, George, listen, this is a great part I'm up for. I'm a big lawyer defending an innocent girl.
He's a lawyer defending an
I
innocent...
heard it. I heard it. Oh,
Well,
come in.
Now, wait a minute, Mr. Burns.
Hey,
Mr. Burns, please.
Listen, when you see me do this, I know you'll write some real scenes for me.
Well, okay.
Now, give me a chance.
Okay.
All right, now, this is the
Do it
courtroom
fast.
scene.
The courtroom scene.
And I'm the lawyer summing up my case. Gentlemen of the jury, I want you to look on the accused.
A little faster, Harry.
Look into those eyes.
Yes, yes.
Are they... What smells good in here, George?
A
What is
coffee
it?
cake. It's in the oven. Will you get on with the scene?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Are these the eyes of a woman who would murder anybody?
Yes, those are the eyes.
Did you say there's a
A coffee cake. Will you get on, Harry? Go ahead.
Oh,
please,
yes.
the scene.
These are not the eyes of a woman who would murder.
You want
you
to
mind
try
if
it?
I- yeah,
I thought so. Yeah, go right ahead. Try it.
Oh, brother, look at this. And it's still warm, too.
Yes.
Oh, brother. That is delicious. Made with carnation, I'll bet you.
Oh, you betcha. You betcha.
Yeah. Lou, you ought to taste this. This is wonderful.
Harry, you're not trying coffee cake. You're trying this little girl.
Well, let her get another lawyer. This cake is really something.
But, Harry...
And you know something, Lou? Anybody can make coffee cake like this if they just use carnation evaporated milk. That's a fact. Carnation will do things for your cooking that no ordinary milk can do.
Well, but Mr. Burns is
I can
waiting...
prove that, too. You can get cooking miracles with carnation not possible with ordinary milk. See, because carnation is double rich and heat refined, it brings out all the full quality of your other ingredients. Really, if you want your food to taste better, use carnation. Well, you take this coffee cake. What?
Didn't you hear me blowing the horn?
Yeah.
We've got to get going before Harry finds out I'm not
Okay,
sick.
let's go.
Mr.
See you in
Burns.
5
Yeah,
days.
George.
Bye.
Well, Mrs. Martin, look, don't blame this on George. You see, I was explaining to them how to make this coffee cake with carnation evaporated milk.
Oh, that's all right. It's
And,
quite all right, Mr.
Look, why
Montello.
don't you let me show you how to do that? Oh, that's...
Mr. Bonsell, I've made that coffee cake 1,000 times. Do you
Oh,
mind
a
touching-
likely story. I don't believe it.
Mr. Bonsell, they're waiting for me in the car. Now, would you please Oh, all right. Here. Now then, you take 2 cups of this biscuit mix, put in a bowl, add sugar. Beat 3/4 of a cup carnation just as it pours from the can, together with an egg. Stir and pour into a buttered baking pan. Now, for the topping, you take a little cinnamon, nutmeg, and butter, sprinkle over the top, and bake in a moderate oven for 30 minutes and serve piping hot. I'm coming.
There you are, Lou. You see how simple that is? And here's what she gets, a carnation cooking miracle.
Harry, Mr. Burns didn't hear your scene.
Yeah. Oh, the scene. My God. Here. George! George, listen. You didn't give me a chance. I told you.
Yes, Casey? Mm-hmm. The fishing trip is on. Yeah, I got Blanche out of town. No. I didn't have to arrange a conference. She arranged a cold. Yeah, the Burnses are driving her down to Palm Springs. They left about 2 hours ago. Now, they ought to be in the middle of the desert by now. You bet I'm smart.
The end of his name as a presidential candidate in the Wisconsin primary. The senator, however, asked that his name not be revealed. And that's the news to this moment. Stand by for the...
I guess we've had enough radio.
Isn't the news from Washington exciting right now?
Oh, it certainly is. I wish I knew more about it.
Yeah, me too. I'll bet George could tell us about it. What do you think of the political picture, George?
Well, here's the way I look at it. And
You
of course
certainly asked the right man, Blanche. He keeps up to date on all of it.
Well, here's the way I look at it, of
TV
course.
Time and Newsweek and all the magazines from cover to cover.
Really, George?
Yeah. Well, here's the way I see it.
You
that
know,
of
I never seem to find time to do that. Do you, Gracie?
Never.
course, Newsweek agrees with me. If I see
About all
television...
I ever read is the headline in the morning paper.
Yeah,
And so
me
does-
too.
And so does Time Magazine.
That
If I...
and the department store ads.
Yeah, well, I never miss the department store ad.
If I said how...
Blanche.
Oh, nuts.
Blanche, did you see that cute little dress in Bullock's ad this morning?
You mean the cotton thread?
Yes.
I'll say I did.
Yeah, and what a bargain.
Only $12.98.
Yeah, and in 3 colors.
I'm going to get one.
Oh, me too.
The minute we get back from Palm Springs.
Yeah, we go together.
Good.
Yeah, I'll get blue.
I'm going to get red.
Oh, wonderful.
And that's how I size up the political situation.
You see, Blanche, I told you he could explain it to you.
Yeah. Oh, isn't it just beautiful out here in the desert?
Beautiful.
How about this? Not a tree for miles.
Yeah.
Don't look, Suzette. It'll just make you unhappy.
In about 20 minutes, we'll be at Jack Benny's house.
Oh, yes. Oh, Blanche. You know who was there the last time we were there?
Who?
Errol Flynn.
Oh, isn't he handsome?
Isn't he, though? You know, every time I see Errol Flynn, he reminds me of George.
Really?
Yes. He always says, how's your husband?
Yeah, we're buddies. By the way, Gracie, did you get a chance to look at Jack Benny's television script?
Yes. And I don't like what his writers wrote about my brother Willie. And I'm not going to say it.
What'd they say?
Well, they'll only make him look silly. They've got a joke about him wearing high-button shoes, and he doesn't. If I say he does, he won't be able to show his face. Everybody will laugh at him.
Okay, I'll have the writers take it out.
How is your brother, Willie Gracie?
Oh, he's fine. But in his last letter, he said he had a wonderful job milking cows, but he lost it on account of he's left-handed.
On account of his left-handed?
Yes, and his boss was nearsighted. And you see,
That's how he lost his job milking cows?
Yes. Well,
He's left-handed?
Yes. Well, you
And
see,
his boss is nearsighted?
Yes. Well, you see, what happened was they both went out the same night to milk the same cow. And neither one knew that the other one was on the other side of the cow.
Must have been a pretty dark night.
Well, it was so dark even the cow didn't know it. Well, they both got their hands under the cow's crankcase.
Hold
And
it,
then-
hold it, hold it. They put their hands under the cow's crankcase?
Yes. And they got a hold of each other's fingers. And
Sounds very romantic.
yes. And no matter how hard they squeezed, they couldn't seem to get any milk.
Well, I can't understand that.
Well, my brother couldn't understand it either because he squeezed hundreds of cows, but this is the first time a cow ever squeezed back.
Blanche, would you like to hear some music?
Yeah, I'd love it. I'd love it.
Okay, I'll speak to Jack's riders and tell them not to make your brother look silly.
Oh, thanks, George.
One enchanted evening, you will see a stranger. You'll see a stranger across the crowded room.
George, do we have to hear both of you?
Oh, no, Blanche.
One enchanted evening, you'll see a stranger. You will see a stranger.
Ladies and gentlemen, George and Gracie will be back in just a moment. In the meantime, I have a little confession to make. You see this movie camera? Well, my favorite hobby is taking pictures, especially pictures of kids who are growing up healthy and happy and contented on carnation evaporated milk. I'd like to show you a few pictures I took just this last week or so. We'll have them here on the screen. They're twins. Their mother and father live right down the block from me. Of course, the twins have a long way to go, but as you can see, they've gotten off to a wonderful start in life with carnation evaporated milk. Aren't they cuties? And look at this little carnation stalwart. He's having a little trouble here. That's a long reach for him. I think he's got it. Now, try it again. Attaboy, he made it. Oh, this is my sister's little fella. Just a matter of getting his full share of carnation for a few more weeks, and he'll be over that fence and away, believe me. Well, this will just give you a sample of the kind of pictures I like to take, friends, and I know you won't mind my being serious for a moment about this wonderful milk behind those pictures. Carnation evaporated milk. Carnation, the milk doctors recommend for bottle feeding, and for later on when kiddies grow out of the bottle stage. Plenty of vitamin D, the wonderful sunshine vitamins that help babies develop strong bones and sound teeth. Easy digestibility, so important when babies are still very young and very delicate. And safety. Of course, that's important at all stages. And carnation, doubly safe, because it is both pasteurized and sterilized after the can is sealed. Now, knowing these facts about carnation, you can easily see why 8 out of 10 mothers who use carnation say their doctor recommended it. Yes, indeed, carnation is the milk every doctor knows. And now here's Carnation's own contented couple, George and Gracie.
Thank you very much. Gracie and I will be back again 2 weeks from tonight. And next week, don't forget to watch that charming young couple, Mary Healy and Peter Lim Hayes. And by the way, Sunday, March 9th, Gracie and I will really be on Jack's television show. Now, Gracie, how did you enjoy the ride down to Palm Springs?
Oh, wonderful. And, everything turned out perfectly. You see, with the top down, Blanche really caught a cold.
Say good night.
Good night.
Good night.